And good morning and welcome to Sports Talk. Glad to have you with us here on a Saturday morning. Hoping you did not get snowed in last night. We didn't. We were able to put on the knee-high boots and walk in this morning in the blizzard of 2022.
Yeah, you guys could walk in. I had to fly by helicopter to get here.
Missed this one, didn't they?
Ooh.
Yeah, missed this one.
Remember that old joke about Cloudy McLean, just swept, just shoveled 7 inches of partly cloudy off my
partly cloudy
off my front porch.
Well, I'll give them credit though; they've been pretty good up until this point, and some places did get some precipitation. Even Mecklenburg County.
Well, every time they show that fixed camera angle from King Street in Boone, there's always snow there.
Yeah. Yep. I guess that's their out. We
nailed
out. Boone.
We got Boone right.
That's right.
Hey.
And the mountain counties, and yes, they did get snow. And boy, wouldn't you like to be up there today for that wind chill in the high country today? I can't imagine what it is. I know the temperature up there is in the teens this morning, so I'm guessing the wind chill's
pretty good
0.
little wind out here right
It is.
now.
It is. Our wind chill's pretty tough this morning too. But I think if you need to go anywhere this morning, need to travel. If you go, Mike Powell made it here from Cherryville, and you can travel. There may be some low-lying spots that held a little bit of water that turned to ice, but
I would be cautious. But for the most part, it was just a tip.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be doing
typical.
65, 70 mile an hour.
No, just go a little slower. Watch out for the bridges.
And they did show some footage this morning on WBTV of some wrecks, some accidents in Mecklenburg County, but that were related to some slippery roads. But I never saw a snowflake. So
No,
I don't know if anybody else did or not. But
I was seeing some rain last night about 7:30, something like that, or 8 o'clock. It rained in my area,
and very light.
Yeah, pretty
which
light.
is the worst kind though, because it's going to freeze.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If it's cold enough. That's the funny thing. When all this started, wasn't it around 45 degrees?
45 degrees.
Yep. Another night of many cancellations, or not cancellations, but postponements of high school athletics, high school basketball games. A lot of those were postponed last night. There were some games that did get in, however, last night. I know North Lincoln and North Iredale, I haven't seen the results of that one yet. I figured that was going to be a very competitive game between those two. But I have not seen results of it. East Lincoln did roll in both games over West Iredale in the Western Piedmont 3A conference last night. I got the scores somewhere, but believe me, they were 30-point plus victories for the Mustangs, who remain in first place.
Both teams,
girls and boys, both still both undefeated in conference play. That goes back to the old days, doesn't it? Like back in the 70s when East Lincoln basketball was on top in both boys and girls in their leagues. Mike recalls those 70s.
Oh, yeah. 70s, early 80s. Jeff Coffey, Pat Jolly, all those teams.
So you're going to leave out Coach Hall. You're going to leave Lavelle Hall out.
No, Lavelle Hall, too. Yeah, Lavelle was on that team.
Our good friend.
He was on that team.
That's exactly right. Of course, some of the local games here. West Caldwell at Maiden, which was going to be a big game in the CVAC, postponed. Lincoln taking on Bandy's on the road, postponed. West Lincoln and Bunker Hill postponed. And, of course, there's going to be some times when some of these teams are going to have to play 4 games in a week, which means there'll be a Saturday game, because the only way you can play 4 in a week is one of the days has to be Saturday. So we'll see some Saturday basketball coming up. I do already know that haven't looked at all the schedules, but I know West Lincoln and Lincoln both have a Saturday game on their schedule. West Lincoln next Saturday and Lincoln the following Saturday. So, yes, there will be some Saturday. And I have no idea about this part. Some of them may be COVID makeups where you might have not all 4 teams playing.
Yeah, just 2.
Well, if whatever didn't get to play the first time, whether it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever didn't get to play in that original scheduled date. Just been sitting here thinking about some of the things. What about the Hornets last night? Went at home over Brett's Lakers, 117 to 114.
No LeBron.
No, we're not going to share
No
any
Anthony
details.
Davis.
No details. Mine just says Charlotte beat the Lakers 117 to 1.
And about 10,000 fans
It
were
doesn't say.
disappointed, Laker fans.
And the Hornets didn't have Larry Johnson. And
Yeah, and Bugsy Mogues wasn't there. And
no, he might have been. Just overlooked
he
him.
overlooked him. You couldn't see him among the crowd.
But that was one of the things I saw before I left the house this morning, and they were reluctant too. They kind of said on Channel 3, they said the Hornets beat the Lakers last night, and all this, and the national televised game and all this kind of stuff. And then they said LeBron didn't play. Kind of tried to hide that part when they were telling the sports this morning. So Brett says Anthony Davis didn't play either. I mean, that's 50 points right there, usually between those two. What's the deal with those two?
Anthony Davis just came back from injury a couple games ago. I don't know what's hurt now. Maybe they just.
Has he been injury prone his entire career?
Yeah,
Yep.
bad.
But was it like that?
And LeBron just had
Well, he's only at Kentucky 1 year.
knee soreness. Yeah, his 1 year at Kentucky, he was good.
Won national title.
Yeah.
He was fine then, but I think he got re-injured, didn't he, when he was having to go up against Joel Embiid the other night?
Is that what happened?
Well, I don't know. It was.
Or are you just saying Embiid?
It's pretty physical.
Yeah.
7-1,
And Davis,
300.
he played that whole game. He went out early with some kind of injury, and then he came back in and finished the game. And he had a really good game, but I don't know. I think they're just resting him just because he's coming back from injury, and they were playing back-to-back nights. I don't think he's hurt. I think it was just didn't want him to overdo it.
I get a message from Butch. I didn't see a single freaking flake. And
There you
then, and then he needs to come in here. There's flakes in here. And then he says we
good
already do have 4 in the CVAC next 2 weeks for some. 4 games he's talking about in 1 week, not counting last night, which will have to get put somewhere as well. And it's not so much about. We've talked about this before. I've talked with Butch about it. It's not so much about. You can seed, you can go to the playoffs and all that kind of thing and not play all your regular season games. But you don't want to take away a home game such as a Bandy's at Maiden game, a West Lincoln at Lincoln game. Those rivalry games where the gym's packed, you lose your gates.
You do.
You lose your gates. And so you want to get those kind of games in. I went to North Lincoln, East Lincoln the other night. There wasn't a spot left in the place.
Wow.
I mean, it was packed,
Okay.
So they got that game in. It was makeup, by the way. That was one that had to be made up at a later date. And we played on a Wednesday, but yes, I mean that's good money for the schools
Yeah,
who
the
have
rivalry
suffered
games.
the last few years. So
Yeah.
need to get those games in, if nothing else, for the gate money to help support sports.
Yeah,
moving on
remember the
forward in
last
the
2
future.
years we haven't had crowds to speak of due to COVID protocols.
If it didn't spread Wednesday night where I was, it's not going to spread.
Yeah.
Because they were, the old saying, packed in like sardines. Where there you go.
Yeah. I've
Most
been
people
doing
don't even know what that means,
I've
right?
been doing a few of those
Yeah.
this season.
Yeah, it's good to see. Don't get me wrong. That's what you want when the rivalry games take place. But we shall see. We shall see moving forward. And
So you're telling me Lincoln is just the game off the pace, essentially.
of
In
in the CVAC,
yes,
the boys. I don't even remember saying that. Did I say that?
you didn't. Well, but aren't they 4-1 or 5-1?
They are 1 game behind West
That's what I
Caldwell,
meant.
with
Yeah.
West Caldwell coming to town.
Yeah.
Lincoln defeated Maiden earlier. Well, midweek, Wednesday, the same night East Lincoln and North played. Lincoln defeated Maiden in overtime, and that was a battle for second place between those two. They'll meet again.
Mm-hmm.
West Caldwell's got to play at Maiden. That was a game scheduled for last night that didn't get played, and West Caldwell goes to Lincoln. So still a lot to be decided if we can get those games in moving forward. But let's see. Plus, put the tournament is now in jeopardy. But says the tournament's now in jeopardy because of not getting the games in last night. It might have to extend the season another week and not be able to
Not
play
the tournament.
Yep.
Well, what I'm seeing in the last couple of years anyway, I don't know whether it's COVID disruption or what, they're just not playing the tournaments.
Now Lenny sends me a message. As of right now, East Burke and West Lincoln is today at 1 o'clock. Now, is that 4 games, 2 games, 1 game?
Ooh.
Who all? Lenny, is that all 4 teams that'll be playing today beginning at 1 o'clock?
That's probably.
And I'm guessing
news
it
to
probably
you.
is, since he didn't put varsity only or boys only or girls only. And, Lenny a part of that
Girls
West Lincoln
program.
staff. So,
yeah.
yep, he will know the answer to that one.
Part of the brain trust that guides the Lady Rebels.
I don't mind including Lenny and the word brain trust, but you got Rick in there, too.
You got Rick in there, too.
I don't know if I want to throw.
You got Trock in there now. I don't know.
I don't know if I use the word brain or trust.
No, neither one.
When it comes to Rick. I hope he's up this morning, and I know how he is, though. He's probably sleeping till 9 o'clock, not waking up this early in the morning. But, yeah, we'll see moving forward, and Lenny's texting me an answer right now as to what the schedule is. And he says as of right now, and surely – I don't know what Burke County got. I mean, that's what it's going to matter. I know Lincoln County has plenty of, no problem traveling for a game that's 1 o'clock, because you wouldn't have to leave till 11:30 from East Burke to go get ready for a game at 1 at West Lincoln. So I would think by then any spots, if there are any spots left of ice, should be taken care of by then, because it's going to be a bright, sunny day today here outside our studios. Butch says at Maiden we are not playing JV games today. So they who has Maiden got today? Who is the opponent today for the?
I thought it was West Caldwell. No.
Well, I don't know. My guess is I don't know. I don't know if that.
Oh,
my guess is it's something that was already scheduled for Saturday. Before
okay.
Last night's was called off.
Okay.
Yep, Lanny has printed me out the wrestling matchups, which I saw the email, but I didn't even get a chance to really pay it any attention that come out this morning.
State Association. Right.
Yep, we'll go through some of those. So wrestling will start. Let's see. Second round. Let's see. When's it going to start? Pairings scheduled for Monday. Yeah. Okay, first and second round. Yeah, that's what they always do. First and second round on
Monday.
Monday.
It's a duels.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, it is. And we'll get into those. I'm gonna take, when we take a time out, I want to look over them a little bit before I start trying to read through it and explain it. A couple things crossed my mind this week. Of course, let's just look at something I mentioned. The thing that's on the top of my mind we'll save to after our first time out, because I want to ask you who was the biggest winner in sports. Think about this. The biggest winner in sports this week that didn't play a game. How about that? But last night, Orlando beat Detroit 119-103. As we said, Charlotte 117-114 over the Lakers. The Hawks beat the Celtics. How come every time I look, Brett, the Celtics are losing?
It's not very good this year.
Are they not?
Nope.
So who left? What's the deal? Still got Tatum.
Yeah.
Still got
Jaylen Brown.
Brown, yeah.
I don't know.
Did they lose somebody that
they're,
really? Or is
they're
it
25 and 25. I don't.
So what are they missing? What is
the other
key?
three?
Yeah. What's the
three
key?
more good players?
Yeah, I just wondered, is it, point guard they're missing, big guy they're missing, something that's holding them back, because I didn't expect them to be 25 and 25 at this point in the season.
No, I wouldn't have either.
Nonetheless, Denver over New Orleans 116-105. And, I forget, and remind me again, this is George Shinn's old Hornets, right? The New Orleans Pelicans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that moved to New Orleans. What year did that happen? When they up and said, out of here.
Was that in the 90s?
New Orleans. I don't know.
I was going to say around 2000.
2000.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they haven't been very relevant, right? I mean,
No.
the biggest thing they did was draft Zion. I mean, that.
Yeah, well, they had Anthony Davis for a few years. Before that, they had Chris Paul.
Have they won a playoff series?
Yeah, I think they won
Okay.
I think they won a series when Chris Paul was there. Maybe a couple series.
I was just thinking about that the other day, about
nothing
George
since
Shinn
then.
and his days, because he was the first guy to bring major pro sports to the Carolinas, and then he ups and moves the team, and then
So he becomes like this hero, and then later just the biggest villain.
Yeah,
Right?
and then he was for a while,
Vilified villain.
But what people had, people move their teams, and they have reasons for moving their
Sure they
teams.
do.
I got no problem with them moving their teams.
It's all business.
Right. If the cities don't cooperate, give them what they want. We see it in other sports too.
2002.
If somebody's going to give it to you, I'm gonna go.
2002 was their first year in New Orleans.
2002. So wow, this 20 years, 21,
How does that
going on
coincide
21st season.
How does that coincide with tearing down the Coliseum on Tyvola and building Spectrum Center? Was that
Spectrum Center came along earlier, and then what gets me is that was not a bad complex out on Tyvola. Maybe not where they wanted to be.
And that's where the Hornets got going and
Sure.
achieved their early popularity.
I liked it because they had a giant parking lot.
Giant
They did.
parking lot.
Absolutely,
I had a
John.
pretty good way in and out. You
Yeah.
had your street out there with the reversible stoplights.
Yeah.
where if you wanted 5 lanes heading home when the
Yeah.
game's over and 1 lane coming in.
Easy access.
That wasn't
easy
bad.
departure.
That wasn't bad.
Huge parking lot.
And now if you go to a game downtown, you just might as well get a hotel room and
It's just,
Spend the night.
Your only hope is a parking deck or a mile and a half away. It's just tough
It is tough. It is tough.
downtown.
But anyway, New Orleans lost to Denver last night, 116-105. Miami 121. The Clippers 114. Portland 125. Houston 110. Memphis over Utah 119-109. Indiana, not Indianapolis. Indiana over Oklahoma City 113-110. It was San Antonio, high-scoring game, 131-122 over the Bulls. Phoenix over Minnesota, 134-124. And Milwaukee over the New York Knicks, 123-108. We hadn't done this during the entire NBA season, I don't believe. But now that we've got, 30, almost 50 games in for most teams, Miami, Chicago, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Philadelphia are your top 6. Followed by the Hornets. And the reason they split it like this, Brett, is because you have the 2 play-in games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a play-in game or play-in series? 2
Uh,
out of 3?
no,
Just
it's weird.
that's scary.
Yeah, it's neither.
So what do they do?
I can't remember exactly.
Okay.
I think 7 plays 10. No,
Maiden is playing Bunker Hill today.
I can't remember how they do
Varsity
it.
only.
But I don't know if it's 7 and 10 and 8 and 9.
And they've only done it 1 year,
And-
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right about that
But
part.
then there's a third game. They do a third game.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't remember how they do it.
That's amazing if you don't remember.
I mean, if 7 loses their first game, they're not just out. They get another chance, but I can't remember exactly how it works.
Get a mulligan. Is that what it's called? Your team's on the outside looking in the East. Atlanta, New York, Indiana, Detroit. I started to say Pittsburgh, Detroit, and Orlando. Pittsburgh is definitely on the outside looking in at the NBA playoffs. Western Conference, Phoenix, 39-9. Are they for real?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah, I still don't think they're good enough to win it all.
Then
But
they're not for real then. That's what I'm getting at. Are they that kind of dominant team? So you tell me they're
They
not
got
as
to
good as
the
Golden
finals
State, right?
last year, so they must be, right?
yeah, they did get to the finals last year.
20-5 at home, 19-4 on the road. Who's their stars?
Devin
Dan Marley.
Booker and Chris Paul.
Devin Booker, Chris Paul. Phoenix, Golden State, Memphis, Utah, Dallas, Denver. That's your top 6. The play-ins would be the Clippers, Minnesota, the Lakers, and Portland. That's pretty good teams down there below that line, Brett. At least 3 of the 4. I don't know about Minnesota, but those other 3
Yeah, well, I don't
made
think
some noise lately.
Portland's very good this year, but and the Clippers, they're without Kawhi Leonard probably for the whole season.
Yeah, well,
And then Paul George has
make
been
a
out
difference.
lately due to injury. So I'm surprised they're still in the top 8.
who would be your final 4 if you picked today? What 2 from the East, what 2 from the West?
The East is seems to be deeper. I really like Philly. with Embiid. As long as Embiid's healthy, they're going to be tough. Brooklyn's hard to figure out. With Kyrie only playing road games, Kevin Durant's out hurt right now. They're talking about possibly trading James Harden.
You can't pick them all.
I'll go with Milwaukee. I'll go Milwaukee and Philly.
Hard to go against Milwaukee.
Yeah. But Miami's really good too. I watched them this week, and they're as good as anybody.
Is Spoelstra still there?
Yeah.
Is he still there? He's been there a long time now, hasn't he?
I think he's still coaching.
Yeah. I mean, that's the first thing came to my mind is he's still there. Is Spoelstra still the coach? What about on the west side?
I'll go with Phoenix and Golden State.
Yeah.
The Splash Brothers are back, baby.
Hard to go against Golden State. I mean, you're always going to have a chance if Curry's on your team, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like.
They played pretty well.
And they have kept that unit together, right? I mean, just about all the guys that won the titles are still there. Anybody missing from that?
Oh, well, yeah, they have a number of guys missing.
Do they? Okay.
I mean,
I'm just thinking about Klay Thompson.
Well, the main three that were there the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, they added Durant for a couple years, and then he's gone.
But it didn't really matter, though.
Yeah.
If it had Durant or not.
That's true.
I mean, they were still.
Well, I think it did. I don't think they would have beat the Cavs those last two times without Durant.
Three of the pieces are there: Draymond and Steph and Klay Thompson. They're there.
And they brought back Iguodala.
Did they?
Yeah, he's there again. And then they've got some really good young players.
Mm-hmm. They've sort of made that transformation to rebuild.
They brought in Andrew Wiggins, and he's been really good. But they also added Gary Payton Jr., James Wiseman, who hadn't played yet this year due to injury. They're really good, really deep.
Yeah, I don't follow it nearly as close as Brett does, but I would take Phoenix and Golden State myself out of the
It's the best
Western
player in the
Conference.
NBA this year been Ja. What's his last name?
Morant.
Morant.
He's definitely been one of them.
I'll put it this way: every time I turn the tube on,
It's highlight city.
he's mentioned.
Yeah.
He's talked about. He's mentioned an AAU teammate of
Zion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how about that? They grew up in the same area, right?
Yeah, both
Brett?
from South Carolina.
Mhm.
Yep. Poor old Gamecocks couldn't get their hands on either. I bet they could have got their hands on Morant, right? Because where'd he wind up going? It was a smaller,
Murray State.
Murray State.
Yeah.
You know, I bet
Yeah.
they could have got their hands on him.
I wonder if they even recruited him.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you would have thought that
Yeah,
if they
probably
come
not.
calling, he would have stayed at home. Don't know. Never know the whole story behind it though.
Well, Brett, are you ready to throw away this Lakers season? You still think there's a
No, I
chance?
still think they've got a chance.
If they get everything together and get everybody back. And
We got two
Yeah.
thoroughbreds. If
I
they get
think-
those two
Yeah.
thoroughbreds healthy, my goodness.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
why wouldn't you have a chance?
Sure. Well, all you got to do is get in the playoffs. So. Playoffs.
No, it's not all you got to do. You got to have those two guys.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. That's prerequisite.
I almost would think I don't even need to get in the playoffs if I don't have those two
No.
guys.
No.
Because it's a waste of time. But, yeah. And then, as we said, I've always followed the Celtics, and they are way down the list, number 8, 25-25. Just not getting it done this year for whatever reason. I guess Mike would know the fact that Bird and McHale no longer reside.
Yeah. They just don't have McHale anymore. That's doggone it.
They have departed. Lenny says, not absolutely certain today, but there are 2 girls' games. The JV and varsity. This is COVID makeup games. Boys were supposed to play earlier, but he's not sure if they played that matchup or not, and that's East Burke and West Lincoln. So some Saturday basketball going on
I'm getting
today.
dizzy thinking about all the Saturday games and this and that, and just 2 teams playing, not 4. Ooh.
There's a lot
Yeah.
for athletic directors and conference commissioners to
Butch.
oversee right now with everything that is going on. And I mean, if
Well, we've
four
had,
games is the max you can play in a week. There's going to be schools playing 4.
And how many times can you remember in a prep season we've had like 3 straight weekends of either bad weather or reputed bad weather that really didn't turn out? I mean, but anyway, disruption.
Well, yeah, weather forecast that affected your basketball schedule.
This
hasn't happened in years.
Ja Morant's only high major D1 offer came from South Carolina, but he chose Murray State over South Carolina.
Oh, that'd be.
Ooh,
that's unusual.
Ooh. Wonder why.
You choose a mid major for?
I'd love to know the answer.
Major.
Wouldn't you love to know?
It says there's a quote.
There had to be something there.
His dad said, "Every parent wants their child to play the big time program, but what I realized is don't go where you want to be, go where they want you."
Okay.
So I guess Murray State just showed more interest.
Yep. And what's the young man's the number 1 high school football recruit in the nation that by some publications decided he would go play for Dion instead of going to?
Yeah, I don't know.
What was the school that he was that thought they were going to get him? Was it Florida State?
Florida State, yeah.
Florida State thought they were going to get him, and all of a sudden on signing day he decides to go play with Dion.
Do you think it's really important where a guy like that talented plays, whether it's Jackson State or Florida?
Absolutely not.
Or wherever? I don't think it matters.
I think Jackson State had one of the top 5 NFL football players of all time, if I recall. Did they not?
And he was a pretty good DB, wasn't he? A shutdown corner. So the guy's going to learn the trade.
I'm not talking about him. I said I think they had one of the top 5 NFL players of all time. You don't know who?
Ooh, gosh. Query. Jackson State. Was he a Packer?
Sweetness.
Okay.
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton.
Yes.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yes, came out of there. And legendary. Put him on the map. We're going to take a time out for those folks that are listening on the TuneIn app. You will not hear any of the commercials playing. We're in a transition. We'll tell you about that transition. But going to take a break. We'll be back. Might be a little bit of an extended break, but we'll be back in just a moment.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home,
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
if you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Member today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times.
All right. Sunny.
All
and
right.
29 degrees outside here in Maiden. Let's see if this thing gives you a wind chill factor this morning. Wind is 11 miles an hour.
Pretty brisk.
Yeah, it is. 11 feels like 19, it says.
Yeah.
Luckily not indoors.
No.
Feels pretty good in here this morning inside the Maiden studio.
What is the temperature inside Brookwood Restaurant right now?
Yeah, well, I was going to say it can range from the low 40s to 70 occasionally.
Yeah.
70. I hear.
But even in summer, you need a jacket in there.
Yeah. Yep. That's okay. In the summer, I'm looking for some.
Yeah, you're looking
I don't know
for
about
some-
a jacket. That's tough, right?
Yeah.
For breakfast, but I like it. Hey, it's our choice to go, right?
That's our choice to go. Something keeps drawing us back.
Butch says that the Maiden Bunker Hill games today will complete the first round of 7 games for the boys. All the boys teams will have completed their first round after Maiden and Bunker play today. Not so with the girls. East Burke, Lincoln, West Lincoln have not completed the first round of 6. They only play 6 because West Lincoln doesn't have a girls varsity program.
West Lincoln boys, they played?
I think, yeah, Butch, you left that one out. That's right. That first round won't be complete in boys because
I didn't think Lincoln had
West
played
Lincoln
West.
and Lincoln have not played yet. I forgot about that.
They haven't played
have
in
not.
anything, have they?
Mm-mm. They've not met. Mm-mm. I can't remember. What affected
I think
it.
it was the snow 2 weeks ago.
Yep. He
Yeah,
had
when
Maiden
we
girls
missed
on
that
here, but he
whole
said
week
no, the
of
Maiden
school-
girls are 3-3, and you have to have one.
I think
odd team.
I think they were supposed to play during that week that school was out because of
Seems
snow.
like it was, yeah. Either on the Tuesday or I think it was the Tuesday, maybe. But yep, yeah. West and Lincoln have not played boys or girls matchup yet. Lenny says Travis Hunter was that football recruit that was Florida State thought they were going to get. His name was Travis Hunter.
Okay.
And he winds up going to Jackson State. So
Going to Jackson
going to Jackson. Yeah, him and Johnny Cash, right?
with no Maybelle Carter. June Carter Cash, I mean.
I wondered where you was going with that.
Yeah, where was
But
I
you were
going?
right about that too. No Mabel Carter either.
Cool.
I'm assuming she wasn't in on that. Brett mentioned Joe Embiid earlier. He said once he was a 50-1. Earlier this season, his odds were 50-1 to be the MVP. Now he's the favorite. Now I don't say what those odds are, but I'm guessing they're what, probably 4-1, 3-1, a lot lower than 50-1.
Well, I saw some clips of him working one-on-one against AD the other night when they played, and he's pretty amazing. 7'1", 300 pounds. Gosh.
7'1", 300
And
pounds.
it is
I
press-
didn't realize he was that heavy.
In his press, well, he's he's come back from injury and he's a little heavy. He's still got that holiday weight on, and he's kind of funny because in his press conference he described himself as being 600 pounds. He kept saying 600 pounds.
Why was he doing that?
I don't know.
Just
It's-
joking?
yeah,
Because he was overweight?
Right. He's just riffing on that idea that he was a little bit overweight.
I'm looking through some of the, while we're on high school sports, some of the wrestling matchups that are coming up. I'm going to read what I got here. Pairings for the first round of the dual tournament scheduled for Monday or below. The higher seeds host. Let's see. Unless otherwise noted here, the second round will also be contested on Monday night immediately following the first round, which means you got 4 teams at the sites, right? Mike Powell, 4 teams at each site,
right.
and the 2 winners will face each other the first 2 rounds on Monday night. A couple 1A teams as of note. It says that Cherryville will host South Stokes. And see, I don't know exactly how to read this because if you got 4 teams at one site, it don't tell you. It doesn't give me the information anyway as to who else is at that site. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got it.
Do you?
Mitchell and Swain County
Okay.
at Cherryville.
So it's basically in that particular one, it's 5, 12, 4, and 13.
Yeah,
so you really just have
that's
to
it.
do it by the seeds.
Yeah.
Well, then you give me the matchups
I got
for the local
I got the
teams.
email here that's got. Yeah, let's see who else is in 1A around here. Anybody?
Yeah, see, mine don't have.
No?
I'd have to sit here and go 2-2, and it wouldn't be that hard to do. But
Looks like that's the only local 1A team.
Avery County is the 2 seed. I always hear stories about Avery County and how good they are. URE Charter's the number 1 seed, however, in that.
That's in the East.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Robbinsville's one in the
one.
Now,
in
isn't
the West.
URE Charter one of those celebrated prep teams with a lot of, brought-in talent?
I don't know, Mike. What's the second name of their school?
Charter.
Charter. Yeah.
Charter.
Well, that would give it away.
That would give it away. That's all I need to know. Charter in the word.
What else you got, Brett? 2
And
A's.
they're going against Noose Charter, and also there will be Bradford Prep.
Ooh, Prep. That's another one.
There's a lot. There's several schools that I've never even heard of here. Northeast Carolina Prep.
Oh, gee.
Okay, 2A. Bandy's is the 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And they will be matched up with Hendersonville. And then the other 2 schools at Bandy's will be Madison and East Davidson.
Why didn't you tell me to go to the right and look in parentheses?
Oh, I didn't. I figured you were looking at something other than what I'm looking at.
That's how I didn't go far enough.
I've got the
right.
email from James Alverson's. What I'm looking at here.
I just didn't go far enough to the right to see where.
Yeah, it shows you right there
where they are,
and they're all coupled together. It's got.
Oh yeah.
Also from.
I never was a good reader.
Our conference.
Well, we should have a lot of teams from our conference participating.
Newton Conover is the 11 seed matched up against East Gaston, and they will all be at Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant versus Reedsville. So if Newton Conover gets by East Gaston, then they'll be matched up against Mount Pleasant or Reedsville.
Right.
And then West Lincoln is the 12 seed, also on the road, matched up against Surrey Central, and they'll be at RS Central, who's the 4 seed.
Yep. And
RS Central will be going up against Southwestern Randolph first.
We usually see West Lincoln hosting these.
Yeah.
And this time.
Well, I was surprised that Lincoln is not even in these
Not in it.
playoffs. Only 3 teams from the conference.
Is that what it is?
Who would have been? Would Lincoln have been 4th or 5th? Is Bunker Hill?
I think
Bunker Hill's
Lincoln
pretty
was
good,
4th
right?
and Bunker. I think Lincoln finished 4th and Bunker Hill 5th. Yeah, I think that's the way it was. It was Bandy's West Newton,
Yeah.
and then I think Lincoln.
Just
and
a good
Bunker Hill. It was
conference
very good
for wrestling.
conference. Yeah, yep. But I'm with you there. That a little surprised, but when you only take how many? What's the highest? The biggest number on these seeds? Just 8, right? 8, 1 through 8.
No, it goes through 16.
They're 16, but they're like seeded 1 through 8 for. What am I trying to say? I guess it's just at East and West. Just at East and West 1 through 8, right? So.
Well, there are 32 teams make the playoffs in each class.
If you only take 32, then conferences are going to be limited.
Yeah.
Conferences are going to be limited. And I don't know if it's like 1 and 2 are automatic, and then we take wild cards like some of the other playoffs, or exactly how the wrestling is chosen. But
in 3A, I was looking for Lincoln County, but it doesn't look like North or East made the playoffs. Fred T. Ford is the 1 seed.
Well, Fred T. Ford is definitely going to be the 1
West.
seed. They were 1 seed last year in 2A, and now they move up to 3A, and they're still the 1 seed.
Yeah.
They are loaded.
And then St. Stephen's from that conference is also in it.
Always very good. St. Stephen's always very good. I was going to look, Brett, and you can tell me real quick how fast, according to seeding, we could see a CVAC matchup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I've lost my spot here.
Well, Bandy's and West would
Bandy's
meet
and West in
the 3rd round.
Round 3, yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
And then Newton is on the other side of the bracket.
Yep. I'm telling you right now, I would not be shocked if one of those 3 wound up state champions or
they're all. I knew Newton and West were really good, and then Bandy's is the 1 seed, so they got to be
been ranked number
even
1
better.
all season. in the
All
state.
season?
So and with the competition that they have to go up against, each and every night. I mean, when you got at one time 5 teams were ranked.
Now, Lincoln will still get some kids in the individual tournament, right?
Lincoln will, and
Bunker Hill.
Bunker Hill will, yeah. I would think so, yes. Let's see. Butch said he was just looking on Max Preps and didn't think about West and Lincoln not playing, but because they had played 7 games is what he saw. Yes, they played 7 because
Lincoln's played somebody twice.
They played Newton Conover twice.
Yeah, that's it.
And is that all? Seemed like they played another one twice.
Well, last night they would have played Bandy's for the second time.
That's it. That's what it was. It was. So. And then Lenny says West Lincoln and Lincoln was canceled or postponed actually because of snow. That makeup date is set for this Thursday at West Lincoln. So Thursday basketball, which we don't see a lot. Oh. You don't see a lot of Monday, and you don't see a lot of Thursday. I understand Monday. If you coaches and players don't want to play on Monday because you don't get a day to practice after your Friday night game, and prepare for the next opponent. Thursday, I don't know why it works out where you just don't see many Thursday games. For some reason, teams rather play Tuesday and Wednesday and Friday instead of Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't know if there's anything to that or not, or what the reasoning is, but we do see.
If you want to see a basketball game this week, you can pick just about any night, even Saturday.
It might be Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
But yes,
because we're
6 days.
Really talking about just 2 weeks left in the regular season.
That's it.
Right?
That's it. Yes, unless it's extended.
And still 7 games to be played for some teams. Some teams 8 games left to be played.
Wow.
4 and 4. That's 8. I don't know, but
that's going to be difficult. Well, you're just going to have to take away the conference tournament, probably.
Well, unless you play
and
4
stretch
and 4.
it out over 3 weeks.
But the problem with trying to play 4 and 4, you might overlap, and you can't play 4 and 4 because
it's tough scheduling.
The team you got to play don't have an opening for you. So I don't know. Sorry, Butch. Glad I don't have to deal with it.
I hate it for the JVs.
I hate it for Butch, but I don't want to deal with it.
Well, luckily for him,
the JVs
they schedule their own makeup dates. Luckily for him.
If the scheduling won't work, they just won't play the JV games, and I hate that. But that's just how it has to be.
Yeah, the JV games sometimes are sacrificial lambs.
Yeah.
No way to avoid it.
I don't know why this is never done, and maybe somebody can explain to me. I actually talked to an athletic director yesterday about this. When you need to play and you need to get games in, just about every school in this conference has 2 gyms. Why aren't the JVs and the varsity playing at the same time?
What I don't
understand. I mean, I have not figured that out yet. Why aren't the JVs and varsity playing at
and they can flip-flop and do boys
they use
JV
different
first
officials.
and then girls.
They don't use the same officials.
I don't get it.
So,
yeah, you'd have to have a couple extra volunteers for
now. One thing I was told is because in high
Scorekeeping.
school a lot of times the coaching staffs are so small that they help with both teams.
Yeah, that's why I said you might want to flip-flop one.
Yeah.
On one side, play boys first.
That's a great idea there, Brett. You play, that way you wouldn't have the varsity girls and JV girls at the same time, and same thing with boys.
Yeah.
You could, and travel's short too. All you got to do.
It'd be better than not playing the games at all.
Right, it'd be better not play. And I think most coaches would probably even tell you, I'd rather them be able to play even if I'm not in there.
Yeah.
As long as one of the assistants is in there, I would rather them be able to play even if I'm not in there than not get to play that game at all. Yeah. I would love to see, some of that, especially just like yesterday. They could have got 4 games in if you played early enough. Let's see. Lenny says we have, and this is West Lincoln girls. We have 5 games this week, counting today and next Saturday. So 5 games in 8 days coming up for West Lincoln.
That's going to test your depth, isn't it? I mean, my Lord.
Yeah. And your stamina and your legs and everything else that'll be coming up over.
Talk about tournament atmosphere. I mean, when you're playing in a tournament that lasts 3 days and you're playing every day.
Yeah, well, it does kind of get you ready for that.
Yeah.
But it also can wear you out before the tournament as well. But says they have done some of that before, Brett. They have flipped before when they used 2 gyms, flipped it so that, JV girls playing when varsity boys are, vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Another thing I'd like to see is if a conference finishes with a tie for first place and they're not going to play the conference tournament. If those 2 teams tied split in the regular season, use that last week and let them play again.
Play it on the court. Yeah.
Instead of drawing for the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Let them actually play it.
Yep, I agree.
You could draw. You could flip a coin to see who gets it at home.
We played on a neutral court.
Well, yeah, that might
You
be
want to.
tough if
Yeah.
you'd have to. Yeah, there might be another school in the conference that would let you play. Use their gym.
Just reading through some of the things that happened this week. One thing I want to talk about, guys, is Major League Baseball Hall of Fame elected this week. And Big Papi gets in. Obviously, me and Lenny are happy about that. But I will tell you this too: if I'm a voter, I'm putting in Roger Clemens and I'm putting in Barry Bonds. They played in the steroid era. Bonds, I would say. For every steroid he took, he was facing a pitcher that had used the same stuff, Same with Clemens.
Everybody was
Clemens was using
contaminated.
steroids, and the guys he's facing at the plate are also. So it wasn't like it was uneven. You know what I'm saying?
It was just total contagion, and everybody was.
So what does it come down to, Mike? Why are they not getting in?
I think the Baseball Writers Association. They're those who maintain. The fact that you have to have standards for membership. We know why Pete Rose has been boycotted all these years, gambling on the game, even if it wasn't on your team.
But he should go in as a player.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because one of the greatest players, one of the top 5, Brad, all time.
Charlie Hustle.
Could be. He's better than Walter Payton is at football.
Oh,
He's
my
a better
goodness.
baseball player.
What you got against Peyton? One of the greatest human beings as well.
Yeah.
Was Peyton.
Walter Payton is saint-like. In my mind.
Now he's bear-like.
Bear-like. But, well, and of course the steroid era has claimed a number of those who certainly would have been shoe-ins, but now isn't the 10-year period run out for?
Well, the way I read it the other day, and I didn't go through the story, I wasn't going to sit there and read that 20-page story, but it sounded like that's it.
Mm-hmm.
They won't,
For Bonds and Clemens, this was their last chance.
This is their last hurrah to get in.
Yep. Which
veterans.
Which is stupid to me anyway. Time. I don't know. Why do you have? Why does time run out?
I know.
If you belong in, and eventually there'll be enough people that are voting for the Hall of Famers, this is my opinion, with enough sense to put these guys in.
Well, and also, let's be honest, probably some of the nay votes against those two come from the older writers who grew up in a different era. And you're right. If their names continued to be up there, a whole new generation of voters probably would change the fact that they would get enough votes to get it.
Bonds and Clemens, 2 of the top 5 players of all time. I'm gonna name you about 35 top 5 players of all time.
Bonds is he's
he's definitely top 5 hitter of all time. Because the man to hit with power like he did and so rarely swing and miss the ball, much less strike out.
Yeah,
just to so rarely swing and miss the ball.
He was the most feared hitter of my lifetime.
Walked in with the bases
anyway.
loaded. Who was it walked in with the bases loaded?
Yeah, somebody did.
Intentionally walked in with the bases loaded.
Yeah, during that era when he was obviously juicing or whatever and hitting all those home runs, he was. I mean, he always led the league in walks, right? And he was the most feared hitter in baseball.
And Ortiz, to me, he obviously deserves to be in, and he's one of the clutchest hitters ever.
Season too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
who was?
I mean, he's one of the greatest. He's one of the best 2 or 3 Red Sox ever, in my opinion.
Another Reggie Jackson, which you don't remember his playing days, but Mike remember he came to life in
Mr.
October.
Was his
When playoffs rolled around, he seemed to step it up a notch, and that's what Ortiz did. That's what he's known for.
And don't forget what Ortiz did to lift up Boston.
Exactly, his speech. His speech in Fenway.
After the Boston bombing, the marathon bombing.
Speaking of bombing, he dropped the bomb, didn't he? During that speech. But you know what? I mean, it was like when he did that, he got his loudest cheer of the day. Of course, that's Boston.
You would think he was a
Boston
Boston native.
You would.
Because of his love for the city and their love for him.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he was definitely one of the top 5. Boston, I guarantee he's in the top 5 Boston players as far
Oh,
as,
I mean, yeah, I
as
put him
love
right
from,
up there
I'm
behind.
I'm talking about love from the fans.
Yeah,
You know?
I'd put him right up there behind Ted Williams as the best. One of the best Red
right.
Sox ever.
Butch says, this goes back to the high school basketball thing, Brett, and you'll like this. If we do not get the tournament in and 2 teams are tied, we go head-to-head for the tiebreaker, then go down the standings if they lost another, if they who they lost to. Here's one thing I've always wondered. Why do you go against the team that lost to the team that finished higher? Does that make sense? Because to me, you should not get the 1 if you lost to the team.
The third place team.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you lost to the 8th place team, that should cost
bump you.
Yeah.
That's the way it should bump you right there. I've always wondered why it's done the opposite way of that. But anyway, if they're still tied, we do have a game, 1 game tiebreaker to neutral site. So
Okay.
that could happen. That could happen between with West Caldwell, Langton, Maiden down the road that they could be playing. But we'll see. If there's 3 teams involved, though, that makes it a little more difficult.
Yeah.
Now, how about postseason play? How's that done? I mean, are we still using there'll still be wild cards? Right?
Sure.
In addition to those who nail down conference.
And I'm guessing 2 automatics and everything else is wild
2
cards.
automatics and a wild card. That's what
I'm guessing. Like I said, I'm guessing there. Bonds and Clemens should be in. This is from Lenny. They can be voted in later by the Veterans Committee, like Jim Cott was this year. Kitty Cott. Jim Cott?
Oh, yeah. Detroit Lions, wasn't he? No, Detroit Tigers. What am I doing?
Well, I think he was with – I don't remember. I thought he was maybe
Twins?
with the Phillies for a while. I thought he was many different teams.
Yeah, that's right.
But baseball players
Phillies.
do that.
Phillies.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly where he made his home at. What was
I think you're right about
but-
Phillies. Okay.
or Cardinals or for some reason. Lenny's going to tell me here in a minute where he spent most of his career, I'm sure. But and here's the bad thing about it. He saw this. I didn't even see that he got in. That's the bad thing. You kind of
Ortiz is the only name I've seen.
now you
It's the only
will
one I've seen.
you will. These guys kind of go under the radar like Jim Cott, but it will be headline if Clemens or Bonds gets in
Indeed.
that way. I mean, because it'll be talked about for weeks leading up to it,
Yeah.
and you will know it. We're both wrong, Brett or Mike, not Brett. He didn't guess.
Minnesota.
The Twins, yes, and the White Sox.
Okay.
Twins and the White Sox. He says for.
Yeah. I got that flash about Minnesota.
I can see him. Was he a lefty?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I'm guessing, but I mean, of course, he did a lot of broadcasting too. So we've seen Jim Cott doing broadcasting as well. I'm going so back and forth on the Hall of Fame and high school basketball.
Our themes are running together.
Butch says that that is only used for playoff seeding, not conference championship. He's talking about the going down the totem pole. We have had it happen in baseball before, so where you go down the row and say, well, you lost number 3, so you're out. So I always.
So who's the rest of the class? Ortiz isn't the only
I think he was the only one.
recent player that
Is that
got
right,
in.
Lenny? I know you follow this
One-man class.
And what
pretty hard is
And what
Ortiz the
percentage
only
of
guy?
votes do you have to get? Because it says Bonds got 66%, but that
And-
wasn't enough.
And
I think it's 75.
Clemens got 65.5 or something like that. We're very close.
Because what I just read said Ortiz was the only player to meet the 75%.
That's right.
That's it. You got to have 75% to get in.
That's pretty good. That's getting pretty close for Bonds.
He had 77.9, 307 votes. Barry Bonds, 66%, 260 votes. Roger Clemens, 257 votes. And Scott Rowland, who hadn't even been mentioned on this show, 249 votes. So my guess is next year Scott Rowland probably slides in to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And I'm not even, what's sad about that? I'm not even sure his name would ever come up amongst us talking about future Hall of
I don't
Famers.
think it would.
26 more rows. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Ortiz, Bonds, Clemens, Rowland. Kurt Schilling was next, who's also been you know, hampered a little bit by the steroid era? Is that what is keeping him out, or is it?
I think so.
Todd Helton, Billy Wagner, Andrew Jones, Gary Sheffield, Alex Rodriguez. Yeah, Alex Rodriguez definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but it's the steroid thing that's keeping him out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the steroid thing.
How many years has he been out?
This is first one, it says.
One.
So
And he only got 135 votes.
Scott Rowland played 17 years.
Wow.
He hit 281 with 316 home runs.
If we were sitting here, though, today guessing, and I told you Ortiz, Bonds, Clemens, and who was next in voting, how long would it have taken?
Oh, yeah. I would have never
you said
guessed Scott Rowland.
I know.
Maybe by Friday. Jeff Kent, Manny Ramirez, another one. The steroids are holding Manny back. Only 114 votes, and this is his 6th round. Jeff Kent, 9th round, and only 129 votes. You got Sammy Sosa, Omar Vizquel, Andy Pettit, Jimmy Rollins, Bobby Abreu, Mark Burley, Torrey Hunter, Joe Nathan. I mean, the list goes on. But a lot of these people now were in their first year of eligibility and got some votes, okay?
Yeah.
Tim Hudson, he's in his 2nd year, but he got 12 votes. Tim Lincecum, one of Mike's former pitchers.
Lincecum.
Ryan Howard, Mark Teixeira, Justin Morneau, Jonathan Papelbon, Prince Fielder, A.J. Przinsky, Carl Crawford, Jake Peavy. My opinion, none of the last 10 I just named are Hall of Famers.
No.
You know, they got some votes, but they're just not Hall of Famers. Nothing against them at all.
No.
I would say Teixeira is probably the closest, maybe, out of that group. Yet I'm not sure I would. I tell you what, if Teixeira, being a Yankee and being on his first ballot and only got 6 votes, I'm pretty sure he'll never make it. If you only got 6 in your first, you know what I'm saying? That's not a good start.
No.
Not a good start. Ortiz was the only member voted in by the 10-year rule, which means I don't know.
10-year rule.
Ortiz
I don't
was
know
the
either.
only member voted in by the 10-year rule. Okay, so I'm guessing that means once you've owned the ballot 10 years, is that? I thought it was 6.
Go
Didn't we
off.
just say it? I
You
don't
go
know.
off forever.
I thought we just said it was the last 2. Yeah, it's 10.
Well, so how
It's
soon
10
after you
because
retire
Bonds-
are you eligible?
I
That's
thought-
not 10 years,
I thought
is
it was
it?
5.
'Cause some of those guys
I think
have-
it's 5.
Yeah.
I think it's 5, and then you're eligible to be voted in, and then so that means Clemens and Bonds have been out 15 years because it was their. That's what he meant by that. Kurt Schilling's another one that'll come off 10th year. Sammy Sosa will come off 10th year, and Sammy Sosa only got 73 votes. You think about Ortiz getting 307, and Sosa. So what it tells you what they think of Sosa. This is so weird. Because
And one thing I think
Sosa
held
wasn't that much worse than Bonds.
one thing I thought they held against Bonds and Clemens was their personality,
Yeah.
and
Especially Bonds.
their reputation,
Yeah.
and
Bonds
how they dealt with the media.
Bonds didn't want to talk to
But
him.
Sammy Sosa didn't have that
Yeah.
problem.
No.
Let's face it.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, some of these media guys who vote probably maybe didn't feel like they got treated good in press conferences, shunned by these guys, a personal grudge to a chance to sort of get back at them.
Yeah.
I mean, you would hope it would be based on what they did in the game, but we know how that goes a lot of times. So.
And I don't think any of them did anything detrimental to their team.
No.
It was just
Mike, you need to move your mic in front of your mouth because I can't.
Okay.
You're barely coming through my headset.
Well, I don't want my-
There you go.
I don't want my great voice, not a good voice.
We want to hear it.
To
We want
resonate.
to hear it. Me and Brett don't necessarily want to hear it, but maybe
my listening
there you
audience.
go. Yes,
wants to hear it.
exactly,
Yeah, there you go.
exactly. That's yeah. So this is really going to change the way things are looked at, I think, for a while. Now with the Hall of Fame. Rodney says 5 years after players retire, they're eligible to be nominated and voted on by the BBWAA, Baseball Writers something Association, I'm sure. for the Baseball Hall of Fame. So,
Is it of America?
yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Baseball Writers of America Association, or American Airlines, maybe.
AA.
Or Alcoholics Anonymous. There you go. But sometimes I wonder.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wonder with some of these names.
And I don't
not
know whether
getting in
these
the
are.
Hall of Fame. What do you think, Rodney Willis? Bonds and Clemens deserve to be in? Since Clemens pitched for his Yankees for several years, I would guess the answer to that is going to be
Well,
yes.
I mean, even in our local.
And I don't care who they played for.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
No, those are just two of the best.
That's right.
Of my lifetime, those are two of the best.
That's right.
Two of the best players.
yep, and competitors.
Yeah.
I mean, just especially Clemens. I mean, he was such a competitor when he was out
now
there.
Kurt Schilling too, right?
Kurt Schilling is what did I say about him as far as coming off? Kurt Schilling, this is his final hurrah. 231 votes.
And I don't think
58%.
Schilling was as good as Clemens.
No.
But I still think he's a Hall of Fame player.
Well,
I think he had a Hall of Fame career.
He might have been better than Clemens in postseason. Wasn't as good,
Yeah.
for the full career, but he was a postseason pitcher. I mean, he stepped it up.
What was the heroic moment when he was injured?
When everybody says he squirted ketchup on his sock,
Yeah.
and made it look like his ankle was bleeding. I don't know I don't know. Other things too about Schilling that may hurt him is he didn't mind stating his political feelings.
That was a little dicey on that. Yeah.
So
It's better probably not to, espouse your political beliefs too much with this.
well, if you say what you believe and half the writers are
Believe
one
something
side
else.
and half on the other, you're not getting those votes.
You're not getting
I
those
mean,
votes.
I'm not going to say that they all will boycott you, but there will be some that do. And that may have cost him at some point down the road. Let's take a timeout. We ready for that timeout? Brett, you all prepared for the timeout? We'll tell you what our announcement is when we come back.
Good deal.
The Answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
At
At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with departments staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. Glad to have you with us here on a Saturday morning. David Keever, Mike Powell, Brett Keever. Rodney says, all-time list of snubs. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 names on here on his all-time list of snubs. Okay. A couple of them we've already talked about, Bonds and Clemens. Pete Rose, obviously. Joe Jackson he has on here. As all-time list of snubs.
Shoeless Joe.
Shoeless Joe.
Yeah.
And Rafael Palmeiro on here as a snub. And you know, 1, 2, 3 of those due to steroids. Mm-hmm. One of those due to gambling.
Yep.
And one due to
the Black Sox
fixing games.
Yeah.
Well, Rose the gambler, and of course, you can also say Joe Jackson gambling as well.
Yeah,
but
gambling is the same as fixing the game.
Yeah, fixing the game, and did they even profit from that? You know, I mean, it was a lot of it was because they were mad, right? They were mad at how they were treated or something by the White Sox organization. Didn't that have something to do with it? That they were. I wasn't around then, Mike. Tell me.
I think it was a money issue.
You think it was because they were being paid, or they weren't being paid enough as
Weren't being paid
players,
enough.
and they were mad, and
Yeah.
they decided, well, we'll show you.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
but-
usually when people aren't being compensated, they find other ways. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and we've seen it with police corruption, well, anything, political corruption, whatever the case might be. Yeah.
Right.
Money is usually the reason.
Butch says, speaking of the Hall of Fame, we've been talking about Baseball Hall of Fame, and I will say this, former Maiden, West Caldwell, South Caldwell, Coach Danny Anderson going into the high school, the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Hall of Fame. He was the only guy, got that email this week too, he was the only one on there from this immediate area, I think, that will be going into the high school Hall of Fame. 725 wins, so that'll get you in there.
Yeah, well.
As a coach, 725 wins. How many years is that, Brett? If you average 20 a year, 36 years?
Yeah.
Is that on the money? No, it can't be, because it's close, though.
Yeah.
35, 36 years, something like that. That's now think about that. That's that many years, averaging 20.
Yeah.
That's hard to do. That's hard to do. And you know what's sad, though? He never won a state championship.
Yeah.
No.
He
That
got
would be
he got
the
the
one
three
thing.
title games. I think once with West Caldwell. I can't remember. I seemed like I read the other two where they were, but once in the 90s, but he won a lot of conference championships, won a lot of conference tournaments, won a lot of sectionals when you had sectionals. It's still sectionals. They just don't call them
They
that.
just don't
but-
call it that. Yeah.
but,
Let's call it
yeah.
regionals now. Right?
And you know what? I will say this too, for those of you ever met him or know him or anything like that, one classy individual.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just always down to earth. Just loved coaching. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he loved coaching. It showed. And that's definitely well deserving of going into the High School Hall of Fame. That's for sure.
I think they were all with West Caldwell.
Were they? They may have been.
Yeah, it says his state runner-up finishes were 94, 99, and 2010.
Okay.
And, yeah, he was with West Caldwell in the 90s, I'm pretty sure.
Mhm.
And
Oh, he was. He definitely was.
yeah, he was at
Lincoln-
Starmount before that.
When Lincoln and East Lincoln were first in the conference with first put in the same conference with the Caldwell schools, you had High Brighton and West Caldwell in there.
Mhm.
Andy Anderson,
Yeah.
brother of Danny,
That's right.
was the head basketball coach.
Right.
Andy got out of coaching, went into administration, later became the principal, I think, at West Caldwell.
Mhm.
And, of course, Danny then, took the job and held it much longer. Yeah, they always had a terrific basketball program for years and years at West Caldwell. Hard place to go try and win, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Yep. And one of the more unique gyms, and I love it. Love
Yeah,
that gym.
the uniqueness of just but it's on the lower level, and you just walk in off a concourse right into the
and
stand.
it keeps all your traffic from being on the court.
It does.
All the fans
Mhm.
from
They don't-
from
they don't
being on the
sit- they
court.
don't get there.
They enter
Yeah.
from the top and go down
Go
to
down.
their seat instead of
Reminds me
entering
a
on the
bit
court.
of UNCG's gym, a little bit, right?
Not quite as big.
Well, no.
Just glancing here at some scores. Believe it or not, there was high school basketball played last night. Crest beat South Point 75-62. These are boys' scores. That's the only thing popping up on here right now. North Surrey beat Forbush 78-71. East Lincoln rolled over West Iredale 86-41. We talked a little bit about East Lincoln earlier. They're in first place in the boys and girls halfway through the conference season, maybe just a touch past the
I
halfway
wonder when the
point.
last time a Lincoln County school did that, swept both the men's and women's conference titles.
Well, I'm going to tell you, honestly,
in basketball.
their girls have a better chance of doing it than the boys, because the girls, I don't think, have anybody standing in their way. But the team is Hickory for both. I think Hickory could play a part in spoiling it for East Lincoln on both boys and girls, and they play each other for the second time this coming Wednesday at East Lincoln.
Yeah. Well,
Hickory
and
only has one loss on the season,
that
Mike.
was to East.
One loss. Hickory lost at home to East Lincoln by 3.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, that should really be good crowd, good atmosphere, good basketball game. The Redmond kid from Newton Conover finally got his transfer through. So since Christmas, he's been on the Hickory team. So
what does he? I'm
that's
sure he's a
addition.
good player. He must add some scoring and
A little
so
bit of
forth.
everything.
A little bit of everything.
Yep. He'll add a little bit of everything to their already solid roster.
Well, that could
So,
make East Lincoln's task much more difficult.
Yes, you're right. But East Lincoln always seems to. In East Lincoln's favor, they'll be playing it at home, and
that's big.
It's like we've talked about before. If it's close at the end, they're usually going to win. They know they know how to close out games and win down the stretch. So if it's close at the end, I'm not going to say my money would be on them. That sounds like I bet, right? But
Yeah, last time I saw them play, they blew a 21-point halftime lead against North Iredale, but were able just to barely hold on.
1 by 2.
1 by 2.
It's like that's what they do, right? They just barely win.
Hold on.
Kings Mountain beat Forest View last night, 84-60. Let's see if we got any others. RS Central beat Polk County. RS Central, are they 2A or 3A, Brett? Do you know?
2A.
Because I've heard they were really
Pretty
good
sure,
too, and they beat Polk last night, 80-36.
They're 2A?
Yeah.
Okay.
RS Central, one-time powerhouse, Mike Powell in basketball.
Oh, yeah,
Back
Hamilton.
in 70s and 80s, they
yeah,
were the real deal.
They were.
Sent several players to Clemson to play
That was the pipeline.
basketball. Stuart Kramer, 85. Hunter Huss, 67. Hadn't looked at Kramer's record lately. I know at one time they were 10-0, right?
I know Will Kelly scored 40, 40, and 50 this week in 3 games.
Are you serious?
Scored 50 last night.
Wow.
40, 40, and 50
Oh.
for Kelly, the Stuart Kramer star. He's a senior or junior? Do you remember?
He's a senior.
Okay.
I know when I saw
Class act. I saw him play. Just
Yeah.
And he played a
sir,
couple
no,
years
sir,
at
kid.
Gaston
I
Christian
enjoyed talking
and then
to him.
came back to
Yeah.
Stuart Kramer for his final year.
40, 40, and 50.
Yeah. And they did lose one of those games.
So
They
it's
won-
needed. It's not like they're just
they lost one to Crest, I think,
Wow. Yeah.
and then won their other 2.
I know the night that
I hadn't heard that.
that he played Lincoln, and I don't think he went off that way against the Wolves. I think he had like 20-some, but it wasn't like a 40-point night. Hey, he's very good. I mean,
He is
a
good.
shooter.
He's good and not cocky.
No, he's
and that's
not.
rare this day and time. I mean,
No,
it really
he's not
is. But
cocky.
he's just a really good player. And in my opinion, the reason is he's so good is his work ethic.
Yeah.
He works on the court. I mean, he's always busy moving his feet, moving around, doing whatever it takes to win the game.
I talked to him a little bit right after the Lincoln game, and he's an articulate young man and seems to really have a good head on his
and
shoulders.
unselfish.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to score 50 when you're unselfish too.
I
but
know.
maybe the coach said, get a little more selfish. We want you putting some points
Well, he's
on the board.
they're offensively challenged outside of him a little bit, so he has to.
Yep. That's amazing, that many points last night. Scott Cloninger says he talked to the officials at the game the other night. RS Central has one of the top players in the state,
Yeah.
they said. So we'll have to get that name and see if he's a Hamilton or what. Just throwing it out there. I'm trying to find some more area scores, at least in the West. South Stokes beat East Wilkes 76-26. That's a lot of points. A lot of margin 50-point
points.
margin. Country Day falls to Charlotte Latin 57-55. Farmville Central, very popular name right now in high school basketball, beat Washington last night, the Pam Pack, 88-42. Looks like most of my scores popping up on here now are from the other side. Harding beat Berry Academy 55-51. Lincoln Charter down Christ the King 61-54. Lincoln Charter's having a very solid season. And let's not forget 2A for
right.
Lincoln Charter.
2A.
Let's not count them out because they are going to make some noise
We keep forgetting
in the
that.
2A playoffs.
Yeah, they
You
will.
better watch out. I've seen them play.
I have too.
They are good.
And a completely different roster
Mm-hmm.
from last year, just about man to man. New coach too.
Shocker of the morning. Wallace Rosehill 81, North Lenore 76, and yes, that is basketball. Wallace Rosehill does play basketball as well. Huff beat West Mac 55-48. North Mac beat Mallard Creek 70-63. Ashbrook North Gaston, no score. Not even sure it was played since there's no score on here, but I would bet it was played since it was in Gaston County. Ardrey-Kell over Myers Park by 2, 78-76 last night. North Rowan 72, East Davidson 42, Hayesville 77, Murphy 50. Tarboro also plays basketball. They beat Riverside Martin 66-55. That may do it for our scoreboard here from last night as far as the high school scoreboard goes. Told you we had some things going on here at STG, and one of those things we want to announce is beginning, for us anyway, beginning next Saturday morning, we will be back on WLON 10:50 a.m. as we were.
And they say you can't go home again.
For many years.
Yeah.
Lanny, bring me some information here. What's the FM? 107.5 on the FM, which will pick up at a range of about 5 miles out.
In the western end than the eastern end.
More in the western end?
Western and north, but
Mhm.
we're going to work on the end.
Okay, so yeah, we're looking forward to it, being back on WLON as we did for so many years. Same time, we will, for you folks that watch us on Facebook, that'll go away. You'll be able to watch us on YouTube if you want, YouTube TV. But
so all you need to do is just
the Facebook
put
thing will
Sports
go
Talk
away.
Guys in the search engine.
You tell me,
YouTube.
Mike.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You
that's
tell
all
me.
you got to do.
Okay. Because
Sports Talk Guys in the search engine.
you're here
YouTube.
2 days a week. I'm here one.
Yeah.
So you tell me. But yes, that's going to be.
That's an easy way to do it.
Good. Yes. RS Central stars Vincent Hamilton, Chris Michaels, Guard Deluxe, Troy Harris, a blast from the past, says Lenny on those RS kids. Rodney Willis says 107.5 will pick up in Vail.
All right.
He's talking Colorado, right? Yeah. Vail, Colorado. Has Bush Parker said if our conference will be able to play their games before the tournament starts? Well, from what I'm understanding, Scott, the regular season will take precedence over the tournament. They'll try to get in all of the regular season games, even if they have to bump the tournament, which really makes more sense, right? Because the tournament, hardly ever do you see seeding change in the tournament.
Not much. Remember the old days, it was a way for a team to get hot at the last minute
get in.
and play its way in.
We've seen some teams get in that way, but it doesn't seem like it's been that was back before they took so many teams. Now it just don't
Remember
happen.
the year Bandy's had a losing record and won their conference tournament. They weren't going to get in and went on to the state championship game which they lost. You don't remember that one?
Was that
it's been a while.
Vernon Odom?
It was not Vernon.
I can't imagine that they weren't getting in the playoffs when Vernon.
No,
but
but
that's just what came to my mind.
Yeah.
I just wonder, so maybe you're talking about late 70s.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just an unsung team. I believe Bill Bost might have been the coach.
Well, I feel sure of
Mike
that.
Matheson,
The man that coached both boys and
they
girls.
just got hot. Won their conference tournament. They had kind of a so-so mediocre season and just all the way to the championship game.
Yep. But spread the word. You listeners, loyal listeners, get out there, help spread the word that we're back on WLON.
Yeah, you guys who are technically challenged, you just turn on your radio. Right?
And actually, WLON will start here out of this studio on Monday morning.
Yeah.
Monday morning. So if you want to tune in.
Well, it's actually there's actually 2 studios, right? I mean,
there'll be a Maiden and a Lincoln. I think one's under construction right now, and will be finished, and will be finished in the upcoming weeks.
Downtown Lincoln.
Like tomorrow, we hear. It's going to be a rush job now. Got to get in there, but glad to be back on WLON, and as far as local sports go, we'll tell you more about that.
That's under construction too.
That's under construction. We'll tell you more about that in the upcoming weeks. So
yeah, it's really it feels good. I mean, we were on there for so many years. Well, you were,
and you can still listen to us all the other ways.
Oh,
the only thing that'll change is the Facebook and there'll be different ways. We'll have a website. You click on it and watch it on the website.
Yeah,
As we said, YouTube TV, which is very popular these days.
Monday night will be live. It'll be on
Monday night show will be on all the same outlets.
And anything that we do in the morning, we'll replay at 6 at night.
Okay.
Some will be
Okay.
live, some will just be replayed.
How about a Friday morning show? Would that be replayed?
It'll be replayed.
Okay.
So all the sports talk shows coming out of here through the week that Lanny does with different people like Mike and Juju and Forembert and different people like that
Right.
will replay at 6 p.m. 6
Okay.
p.m. And that you can hear them live early, just not on WLON, right? The other outlets, yeah, just not on WLON Monday through Friday, but then they will replay on WLON at 6 p.m. That's good. That's good stuff.
It's kind of nostalgic, because actually one of the studios will be in Lincoln, right?
And
I mean,
did you ever
it's
decide for sure about the WW1? And that's not World War One. That's a sports outlet out of the West Coast that you told me about. You don't even know what I'm talking about? You said something about Westwood One at one
Oh, yeah, that,
down the road.
yeah, they won't call me.
Okay. We're also trying to work with Westwood One to get some national sports put on
oh yeah,
after dark, after
Sure.
in the evenings when overnight, be on all the time. That we're trying to get back with Westwood One, put
Yeah.
national sports stuff
National
on,
Sports, Westwood One.
because at that time most people aren't tuning in to listen to music,
No,
but you will
no.
listen to a ball game if it happens to be on
Well,
Westwood One. Who
I
won?
remember
one of the
listening
bigger.
to Westwood One a couple times when I couldn't be there for the Monday night NCAA basketball,
Mhm.
men's basketball championship, and I would just listen to it on Westwood One.
Yeah, guess where they're based out of?
Tell me,
L.A.
I'm guessing.
gotta be.
Then that's with the Wizard of Westwood.
Yeah.
Westwood.
Yeah. Will they archive those shows that are missed? Guess who's asking that, Lanny Ford? Will they archive those shows that are missed? Yeah, on YouTube all the time, Rodney. On YouTube all the time. So there you go. That's that's about as good as it gets. I don't know what else to tell you. We're looking forward to it though. Moving
The idea
forward.
of getting a Lincoln studio, and it's really WLON Lincoln Station.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
It
I
is.
think.
It is.
Bringing back some of the old memories, and when from the days of Jack Brown and Wayne Howard, when it was truly local, right?
Yeah.
Larry Siegel.
I love to hear some of the Jack Brown stories, but a lot of them can't be
We
shared.
can't be shared on this station.
on the station that he owned.
That he owned.
That it can't be shared.
Quite a character.
I was just going through some of the headlines here. We definitely got to talk about the NFL playoffs that are coming up. Last weekend had to be one of the best NFL weekends, even though there were only 4 games, in the history
Yeah.
of football, when you've got 4 games that are decided on the final play. I tweeted after the game that I hate to see a game decided by a coin flip. A game of this magnitude decided by a coin flip, because both offenses in that Buffalo-Kansas City
Couldn't
game
be
were clicking
stopped.
so well. They couldn't be stopped. So the coin flip basically determined the outcome, because Buffalo never got to touch the football. And a couple people would reply like, it's like I was pulling for Buffalo and I was mad. That's what they were thinking, and I wasn't. It didn't matter to me who won that game. I like both teams. I'm just saying, how many sports do you see that both teams don't get an opportunity? You don't see any sport. You don't even see any other level of football.
No.
That the,
College football,
and
high
you got
school football,
$1 billion
middle school
industry that decides it on a coin flip. I'm
Yeah.
against that. I want to see
Yeah.
something different.
But the old school thought is, well, why can't you play defense too? Why can't your defense stop them and get the ball back?
I agree
for
with
the
that.
offense?
I'm not talking about that one particular game either.
Right.
I want to see it for every single
Yeah.
overtime
You want
game
to see
in the
both
NFL.
teams get their opportunity.
Yep. That baseball, or basketball is the one that come to my mind. Can you imagine opening tip, the team goes, lays it up and scores, it's
Game's
over.
over.
It's over.
5
You know,
seconds
you don't,
into OT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't get your chance. I mean, high school football goes to overtime and does it right. Both teams get the ball. College football, I love the new system they've got.
Yeah.
You do 2 from two different times from the 25, and after third overtime, it's just 2-point conversions.
I love the way they do it.
That way you don't
college.
waste a lot of plays and a lot of energy. It's one play and out,
Yeah. I love the way the college
I do
games
too.
got it.
I would rather see the NFL just begin with 2-point conversions than do it the way they do now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But, yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. What if KC had settled for a field goal on that first possession of OT?
Then Buffalo gets the ball.
Would have gotten the ball. Yeah.
Which still makes no sense at all.
I know.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I still think they got some work to do on the overtime rule. I'd just like to see both teams get the same opportunity, even if it's the Cowboys, right? So those people that don't think I like the Cowboys, but I don't know we'll ever see it. But
First and goal from the 25.
I actually think it'll change. First and goal from the 25. But anything, I don't care what they do.
Yeah.
If they just do it for both teams, anything.
Speaking of Dallas, looks like both Mike McCarthy, the head coach, and the DC, Dan Quinn, are coming back. Is that what I've been
Yes,
hearing
they are.
this week?
Quinn made his own decision. The Joneses made the decision on McCarthy that they would bring him back. But I don't blame them. They don't want to change anything right now. They're knocking on the door.
They're 12-5. Right?
Being in the Super Bowl, I mean, they're knocking on the door. They just got to find. They just don't know how to win games at the end. They're not good at winning games at the end. I asked you guys before a little earlier this morning, and I know we got to take one more time out here in a minute. But who actually won this week without playing a game?
Without playing a game?
Yeah. Let's see if
Is it an NFL
it's
team?
NFL. It's NFL.
Denver?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You see what they did?
Brought in the Packers offensive coordinator.
Nathaniel Hackett. Brought in Nathaniel Hackett. My guess is that the Broncos executive got on the phone and called and said, "Can we speak to your offensive coordinator?" And said, "How would you like to be the head coach of the Broncos?" And guess what? They're going to get, in addition to that, Mike Powell.
Well, Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
And maybe even
Devontae Adams, too.
Think about it. Now, they're loaded with wide receiver, so I'm guessing they might be a 2-for-1 package to somehow. But Adams is a free agent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could sign him, but they're going to have to let some people go. I mean, I don't think they can have Jerry Jeudy.
Well, I would. I mean, they're loaded with receivers, but none of them are as good as Devontae
Well,
Adams.
what's the other one's name that I can't think of right? Obviously, he's not as good as Rodgers.
Cortland Sutton.
He's the closest. Sutton is the closest.
Yeah.
Judy's still raw out of Alabama. Maybe his third year coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that what if you see
Noah Fant.
Noah Fant's a good
Two
tight
good
end.
running backs, Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams.
Wallace
So
Rosehill
you're
kid.
saying they have enough pieces offensively?
The defense is dominant.
Yeah.
You put Aaron Rodgers in there.
Yeah, I'd say they'd be right there with Kansas City.
Exactly. They
As
leap to
the
the top
favorite.
with Kansas City and
I'd be
Buffalo.
happy about
AFC.
that. I've always liked Denver. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Just something about.
I do too, and I
the
think
whole
they have a
franchise.
well-run organization is one of the reasons.
I
and
like Elway.
I like the
so-
Rocky Mountains.
Oh, by the way, trivia the other night. Let's see if you guys can get this. What singer-songwriter appeared before Congress in regard to
I
his
already saw it.
1973 song in which he said, "This song is not about drugs"? It became the state song of this state.
Of Colorado? Since we were talking
What's the
Colorado,
song?
it makes me think you were talking of Colorado. Is it the state song of Colorado? I
What
mean,
is
I don't
it? What's
really-
the song?
I don't know if I have a clue.
What's the song? 1973.
He-
You got it.
Rocky Mountain
Rocky
High.
Mountain
So
High.
John
That was
Denver
the
did it.
Final Jeopardy
It was.
question
Yeah.
a night or two ago.
Was
Yep,
it?
Yeah.
was.
Aaron
Final
Rodgers.
Jeopardy.
Final Jeopardy question.
Aaron Rodgers wasn't asking the questions, was he?
Nah.
He hasn't decided to go
This song
to
is not
Jeopardy
about
yet.
drugs, Denver.
Rocky
Told
Mountain
Congress.
High. It's a natural.
It's a natural
High,
high, nature
being in the
high.
mountains, yeah.
The mountains.
Well, I've got a. What's the T-shirt I bought, Brett? You seen it, hadn't you? That I bought up in Boone this past summer. I got a T-shirt that says, "Life is better when you're high." That's what it says.
Yeah.
And
High
It's
country.
just talking about being in the
Right.
mountains. Yeah, life is better when you're high. That's exactly what it says.
Did it have a picture of the mountains there? On the
I had a
shirt?
big old joint on the front.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, I had a picture of the mountains.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, it's a neat.
You haven't.
neat.
I haven't seen you wear it.
I think I have. I think I did wear it
Okay.
in here one day, but yeah. Yeah, I should have got that one though. That's one of my favorite tunes there. Right, I should have got it. That this song is not about drugs. Had to explain that to him, huh? This song is not about.
I mean, why? I'm trying to figure out what.
My first thought was Paul McCartney. You know,
Yeah.
Lucy in the Sky.
Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, LSD. Had nothing.
So they never appeared before Congress to tell them it wasn't about drugs, right?
Now, don't
So
get me wrong.
Maybe it is.
The lyrics are trippy,
Mhm.
but you know.
To Lucy in the Sky.
Yeah.
But still, I don't know. I would have never thought about it being
The girl with
with
kaleidoscope
drugs,
eyes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. That can mean different things.
Different things. Yeah.
That can be different things.
Well, yeah.
We'll see though if all this plays out. That the thing about Denver hiring the Green Bay offensive coordinator and all that, it just seems like you didn't hear a whole lot about who all they were interviewing and anything, and all of a sudden, bam, we're going to snatch him up because guess what? He's got the connection to Aaron Rodgers, and if Aaron Rodgers don't stay in, I'll put it this way: if Aaron Rodgers don't stay in Green Bay, he's probably going to Denver.
Yeah.
I mean that's the way it looks right now. If he don't stay in Green Bay, my bet is he'll be in Denver.
Well, another team made news this week. The G-Men, the Giants, named their head coach Brian Dapple. He was the
Well,
OC.
they need to make some news.
He was the OC at Buffalo, and another connection to Buffalo is Joe Shane, I think it is.
Not George Shinn.
No. Joe Shane was the assistant GM at Buffalo, and he was named the GM at New York.
Yep.
So you got a Buffalo thing going there.
Yeah, ain't that something? That the Giants are pulling from Buffalo when it used to be the other way, right? The Giants were the powerhouse in Buffalo trying to catch up with the Giants, and now the Giants are trying to catch up with the Bills. Funny how that works.
Well, could this make a change for Daniel Jones, who struggled throughout his Giants career?
They're going to have to make a change.
Brings in an OC.
I don't know where they draft or how they draft or how many draft picks they got. The Eagles are getting ready to load up. They got 3 first-rounders. I don't know about the Giants, but the Giants, it's time for them to draft a quarterback, I think.
Yeah, but
what about you, Brett?
The quarterback draft is not that strong this year, is it? I mean,
Probably not.
it's got Ole Miss.
Then maybe they should make a package and try to get one of these guys that's out there that's available that we do not know where they might wind up, right?
Mhm.
Who are some of the quarterbacks that could land? I mean, they talk about Drew Lock. Obviously, if Aaron Rodgers lands in
He'll be going
Denver,
somewhere
he's
else.
going somewhere.
Well, you got him and Bridgewater.
But he's not top of the line, or they wouldn't be looking to sign.
Deshaun Watson's the
Rodgers.
biggest name
Yeah, he is.
that's
Well, now-
available, I guess. Russell Wilson, there's talk about him wanting out of Seattle.
Well, is Watson?
Is he going to wind up somewhere else? Is he going to be on the field?
Yeah,
That's the
right.
question.
With all his
Will he
legal
be on the
issues?
field?
I don't know. I think he'll be with the new team
Yeah.
by next season.
Maybe.
And how many NFL coaching vacancies, head coaching vacancies, are still out there?
Well, there
It's
were
only
8.
7 now.
There were
right?
8, and I only know of 3 being filled. I see
At least 5 or 6.
Green Bay
still.
got filled.
Well, I think there are
the
9,
Giants got filled.
or there
and-
became 9 whenever Sean Payton.
Yeah, when he stepped down.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a shocker of the week. I just
It
cannot.
is.
I cannot
It is.
not imagine one of the top 5 coaches in the
Mhm.
NFL currently. Top 5
Yeah.
coaches in NFL just stepping down. And did anybody ever hear? Just tired?
I think that's it. I think this is a very trying season for Peyton and
One of my
and
favorite coaches.
Yeah.
And
the Saints in general.
great winning percentage since he's been
Ah,
there.
Yeah. He resurrected it. I mean, no question. Along with Drew Brees, of course.
And they have not named
No?
the successor yet, right?
No.
Okay.
The only taint on his brilliant career is that bounty gate
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
When he had
And
to
that basically came from Greg Williams.
Yeah. But
you
didn't
know, who was
Peyton have-
working under him.
Didn't
So-
Peyton have to sit out an entire year?
Sure did.
Yeah.
Sure did. Yep. So again, Giants have filled their vacancy.
In Denver.
Denver, and
How
there's
about the
one
Bears?
more.
The
The
Bears
Colts defensive coordinator, and I
Yeah.
can't think of his name
Me
right
neither.
now, but the Colts defensive coordinator has taken that job, and he's done a terrific job with the Colts defense. I'm just a little surprised the Bears didn't go offense, but
yeah, because he's got this great talent in Justin Fields.
Yes.
He's going to work with him and develop him.
yeah. And I wonder if they ever did talk to Ryan Day, or from Ohio State. There was talk of that at one time, who coached him in college, but it seemed to not go anywhere. At all. Lenny says Jim Cott was elected to the Hall by the Golden Era Committee. This is the Baseball Hall of Fame. He will be joined by Gil Hodges, who I remember. I know Mike does. Tony Oliva, Minnie Minosa, also elected by that committee. David Ortiz was the only player elected by the Baseball Writers of America Association.
Yeah, that's the group that is.
Yeah, that's who.
Held
who we rely on.
Held players to a little bit higher standard in terms of their ethics.
Is anything tainted though if you get in? If just like, do people look at you different if it's after the 10-year? Would you look at somebody differently, or you might right off the bat? But I would say 5 years down the road,
it won't matter.
Yeah,
nobody will remember.
Yeah. And far as even farther and farther down the road, you're just in the Hall of Fame. I don't think they put it on there. He didn't make it in the first 10 years, but he got elected. Now, it might tell who elected you in, which would kind of give that away. I don't know if it does or not. Never been to the Baseball Hall of Fame, so I don't know what some of that looks like in there. But I do hope if I ever get to the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, that Clemens and Bonds are in there. I do. I do think they deserve. I think they deserve to be in there. First game tomorrow is the Chiefs, and am I right? Are the Chiefs in the
yeah, that's the first one
in the first game of the day with the upstart Cincinnati Bengals. How about the Bengals? We knew they were going to be good when they landed Joe Burrow, and we knew that Jamar Chase is a superstar in the making. But is this team ahead of schedule? I mean,
you got to think so.
Year 1 for the receiver, year 2 for the quarterback.
Yeah.
Throw in Joe Mixon.
Their defense is a little better than I realized, or at least they looked better the last 2 weeks. Because I thought their defense was awful.
I saw a report on the Bengals.
And it was all about Burrow.
I saw a report on the Bengals about 6 weeks ago that showed how they selected their free agents this past year that they added, mostly to the defense. And they said they only wanted free agents that came from winning franchises. They wanted guys that had been playing on winning franchises, and that's what they got. They signed all these guys off of franchises that had been winners. They knew how to win.
Right.
Quality people, was another thing they were looking for as much as, their playing ability. Somebody seems to be doing things right there as far as front office people, getting the right talent in. And the name slips me right now of the head coach. Can you guys remember all these coaches look like they're 25 years old.
They do. It's the whole youth.
You know why? It's because they're 25 years old.
25 years old.
But he's done a terrific job as well. I can see them being around 15 years, right, in the mix.
If Burrow stays healthy,
yeah. If he stays healthy, they keep Chase. Chase, I don't think is going to want to play anymore. And you know what? There's talk now amongst. I heard this past week. There's talk amongst players now in the NFL. Free agents want to go there because they believe Joe Burrow is going to win rings. Mm-hmm. So they want to go there, and they say he's the real deal. We want to go play in Cincinnati.
Yeah,
it's
right.
a little different now that when you have that franchise quarterback in place, it also works as a recruiting tool for you. Cincinnati, though, upstart on the road in Kansas City. I'm not going against the Chiefs at home and Patrick Mahomes. I still think Patrick Mahomes is he's the hardest quarterback in the NFL to stop.
Right.
I don't know if I want to say he's the best. I mean, there's so many ways you can figure the best, what it takes to be the best quarterback, and that's debatable. But I still think that Mahomes is the hardest to game plan for and the hardest to stop because guess what? Anytime he's under pressure, he can just take off and get you 15 to 20 yards or even more on any given play, and that is just I mean, that's
killer. Yeah,
that kills you not just physically, but emotionally as well. On a 3rd and 9 play and he runs for 15 yards. You do everything right. You got the receivers covered. You put the pressure on him. Bam, he breaks out. Yeah. All he's got to do is break one tackle. And
well, not only that, he's got a great tight end and Travis
Kelce.
And the slot receiver is the fastest guy in football, right?
Tyreek Hill. If he's not, I don't know who's faster.
Who's faster than him? I mean, if he gets the ball over the middle or gets a step, he can
top 5 anyway, right, Brett?
Yeah. And they're not the same team as they were when they were 3 and 4. I mean, you've continually gotten better back to their.
And I don't know how they did it. They say you can't just flip a switch. They seem to just flip a switch.
Yeah, didn't they went and reel off like 9 or 10 wins in a row? Or have they lost since that 3 and 4?
And you know what? They always say to be champions, you got to win a game you probably shouldn't, and that could have been the Buffalo game.
Could have been.
I mean, they could have easily lost that Buffalo game.
13 seconds. You get down to kick a field goal. Wow.
If Buffalo had it to do over again, would they squib kick it and not kick it in the end zone?
Everybody in the world thought so. My God.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah. 2 plays they were in field goal range.
I mean, if you squib it, doesn't it take up a couple seconds just to retreat? I mean,
well, if they squib it right and they keep them where they need to keep them, then they're only going to get 1 play.
1 play?
They're only going to get one play.
And the chances of 1 play just infinitesimal.
Yeah, but you know what? I still like the Bengals are on their way. Bob Cowie asked me a question the other day. Bob Cowie's he's a Bengal fan. I mean, he grew up
from that area, the Midwest,
Kentucky, right outside of Cincinnati, just south. And he said somebody asked me the other day, how many true Bengal fans do you know in this area? And he said himself, Jimmy Carr. Also grew up
Jimmy
in Ohio,
Carr
who's the girls' basketball coach, and Dennis Poston.
Yeah.
And,
Dennis Poston, of all people.
And Dennis, I know for years he's gone up there and watched him because Jason Barber has gone with him before up to Cincinnati to watch the Bengals.
That's just a team Dennis picked up on at some point in his youth, probably.
Yep. There was another guy I know that I don't know if he's still a Bengal fan or not, but Brett might remember him, Jeff Hawkins. You remember Jeff Hawkins that played a lot of softball when I did, and they call him Hawk. I know Lenny would know who that is, I would think. But he was a Bengal fan, too, I remember. But I think the Bengals are a year away, from – don't get me wrong. If you get this far, you can win it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can get there and you can win it. But Chiefs playing at home, I don't know about you guys. You can tell me now. I like Kansas City in this matchup.
I know it's not going out on a limb, but I just don't see it working any other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take Kansas City to win.
On the NFC side, San Francisco and the Los Angeles. We get to say that again now. On the Los Angeles Rams once again. Big rivalry here. What's the streak up to now? 5?
6 straight.
Is it 6?
Counted them 6 straight times the 49ers have.
That is amazing.
It
the
is.
49ers have beaten the Rams that many times, which to me makes me want to pick the Rams because the law of averages just says you can't discontinue this, and now you're going into L.A. again, and can you beat the Rams? But then again, is one visitor going to win? And if one visitor is going to win,
which one would that be?
I go with the 49ers.
I would too.
Can the Rams match San Francisco's physicality? Because that's the way they like to play. They like to pop you in the mouth.
The Rams don't have near the home field advantage that Kansas City has tomorrow.
I wouldn't think so either.
Will 50% of it be San Francisco
Probably
fans?
close to 50, yeah.
Yeah.
It was when they played in the regular season, or if not more. It's kind of weird. I don't understand how that works.
Who's the greatest young genius here? Everybody talks about Sean
McVay,
but I really think Kyle Shanahan.
No kin to Timothy.
Yeah, the way he scripts games, and with a quarterback that, let's face it, guys, he's questionable, he's erratic, and here he is. Probably you'd like for him to throw, or Garoppolo to throw maybe 8-10 passes for the game. That would be ideal.
I think Garoppolo is really good 90% of the time, but there's going to be a time when he throws that stupid pass that gets him in trouble. When he did that a week ago, and it almost cost him the game. But Stafford can do the same thing. You know, I really like Stafford. I always have liked Stafford, and I'm glad him to be in this situation where he has a chance. But he could do the same thing. I mean, he's he's made some bad decisions under pressure as well. So, and you know what, the game with so evenly matched, it could come down to that. Which one does make the critical mistake at the wrong time? You know, fourth quarter, 4 minutes to go, and one of them throws a pick.
Yep.
You know?
Either one could throw one.
I don't know which one I would bet on to do that. Law averages just tells me that the Rams.
I think a lot of punsters are.
I want to see the Niners beat them, but you know, if just to pick, it's hard to beat the team that many times in a row in the NFL. It's amazing. They're up. I thought it was 5. Mike tells me it's 6.
I could be wrong.
Or maybe
if I'm wrong,
maybe tomorrow would be
somebody
6.
point that out.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but either way, it's just
amazing.
You know, and we know this much: it would be the 3rd time this year.
Yeah.
If they beat them,
we do know that.
Yeah, it's going to be the 3rd time this year they beat them if they can do it again. Rodney says, you are correct about the Bengals making some solid defensive pickups in this offseason, including slot corner Mike Hilton from the Steelers, defensive end Hutchinson from the Saints, and defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi. I think that's how you say it, Ogunjobi. Maybe the J's silent, from the Browns. I hear him say it on TV, but I forget exactly. Who is also the first ever Charlotte 49ers player drafted, is Ogunjobi. All 3 are starters. All 3 were signed, and all 3 moved into starting. Let's see, reading something else here from Lenny. The Hawk, and was a really good basketball official. Jeff Hawkins he's talking about. Let's see. Mike is correct. San Francisco has beat L.A. 6 in a row. 6 in a row. That's hard to believe between divisions. You wouldn't think of anybody in that division, really. The Cardinals, maybe before they got Murray, they weren't really the class of the division. But anybody in that division should not beat somebody.
Yeah.
One of the others 6 in a row. They're all quality teams. So, thanks for the text rolling in this morning. Appreciate it. So I'm going Rams and Chiefs. My Super Bowl, when the playoffs started, I wanted to say it was going to be Super Bowl 1, the Packers and the Chiefs, but the Packers just can't get over that. They're 0-4 in the playoffs against 49ers all time. Do you know that?
I know.
0-4.
That's really pretty much sullied some of Aaron Rodgers' reputation, hadn't it? Think about it. He would have been in a couple Super Bowls more at least. He's only been in 1. Had they managed to get by San Fran, which they never could do. But I left my heart in San Francisco, so I'm going with the 49ers.
Better leave it in Santa Clara.
Yeah, Santa Clara. They don't even play in San Francisco.
Tony's got to rewrite
it's 45 miles down the road in Santa Clara.
I'll take the Rams and Chiefs. It's funny, that was my Super Bowl pick before the season started.
Wow. And here they are.
But then when the playoffs started, I picked Green Bay and Buffalo.
Yeah.
So now I'll go back to
Taught
the Rams.
You a lesson, didn't it?
Yeah, go back to the Rams.
Remember who we picked to be in the Super Bowl?
I know I picked Tennessee.
I think yours was Tennessee and Dallas.
Tennessee and Dallas.
Rams and Chargers.
Laney had all L.A.
I can't remember
Rams and Chargers.
I can't remember who I picked.
I think, Mike, you had Detroit and
Cleveland.
Detroit and Jacksonville.
Yeah, Detroit and Jacksonville. There you go. That's next year. Just wait till next year.
Wait till next year.
Now, this is good coming from Scott Cloninger. Think about this. He says, Jimmy G and Stafford can lose the game for you. The coach is calling the plays to try and keep them under control.
Right.
The other game will be won by the quarterback.
Makes sense.
So, I see what he's saying. One matchup will probably be lost by the quarterback making a mistake, while the other game, those 2 quarterbacks are so solid, they will win the game for the team.
It's a reasonable analysis.
Ben Roethlisberger stepped down. He made it official. He retired.
Right.
Lenny says the passing of Pittsburgh Pirates outfielder Gene Clines. He was part of the minority starting lineup
Oh, I
in
remember that.
1971. I'm glad Lenny shared that because
That's
I had
good.
not heard that.
All minority starting lineup. That's
I had not heard
We
that.
are family. Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Thanks to everybody this morning for tuning in. We appreciate the loyal listeners. Don't forget, next week, actually starting on Monday, WLON back right here. Glad to have you with us. For Mike, Brett, I'm David. See you next week.